I'm like, fucking hell, I'm about to get robbed. And sure enough, the guy's like, hey, you want to see something cool? And I'm like, I don't know, man. And he jumps over the fucking counter, slams me up against the register, and puts a gun to my back. And he's like, get the fucking register open. So now, it's like, this is the second time in the day that I snap. Now, immediately I'm thinking about the fact that right next to the register, there was an open box cutter. And I'm like this on the counter. The thing is like this far from my fucking hand. And I'm like thinking to myself, I could just grab this box cutter, swing back and stab this motherfucker with it. But I didn't do that. Because I thought, what if I miss and I stab myself in the neck? But anyway, so, you know, I get the register open and I'm just like mad. I'm so mad because this motherfucker is saying the most stupid shit imaginable. Like, so he wants some cartons of Newports, which are like down under the counter. And he's like, give me like 3 cartons of Newports. I'm like, dude, there's 10 down there. I'm like, your hands aren't fucking broken. I'm like, you want me to specifically hand you 3 cartons of Newports? And he's like, I don't want them to look funny on camera. I'm like, you're behind the register with a fucking gun, asshole. There's 3 cameras on you. I'm like, how are you? You don't want anything to look fucking suspicious. Oh, that makes sense. And so a couple of times, he reaches around to me. He's like, shake my hand, man, shake my hand. And I'm like, are you fucking that stupid? I'm sorry, I'm like slobbering. I get heated telling this story. But so I'm just like, are you that fucking stupid? And he's like, I want it to look cool. I want it to look like everything's okay. I'm like, dude, it doesn't look like it's okay. You've got a fucking gun. You're behind the counter. I'm pushed up against the register. I was like, I've already hit the silent fucking alarm. I'm like, you got about fucking 5 seconds to get the fuck out of the store. I'm like, you're already recorded. I'm like, you're fucked, dude. So he's like, open the other register. He's like, get the money out of that safe. So he goes over to the safe that dispenses the change. He starts pushing all the buttons at once. Well, that automatically sets the timer thing on. So like none of them will be released. And it waits like 20 minutes before it'll dispense anything. So I tell him that. I'm like, wow, aren't you a fucking idiot? I was like, you could have gotten like at least a $25 thing of quarters. I'm like, but no. I was like, you didn't fucking think of, or no, a $10 thing of quarters. I'm like, but no. I was like, you had to go and be a fucking dumbass. So I'm just calling this dude everything in the book. I'm cussing him out left and right, telling him how stupid he is, what a worthless piece of shit that he is. Like, I can't stop because I'm mad. You know, I'm real mad. So finally he's like, give me those fucking tapes or I'm gonna fucking shoot you. And I'm like, well then shoot me then, pussy ass. I was like, you won't do it. I was like, go ahead, fucking shoot me. So I get to the point I'm like practically begging him to shoot me, and I'm telling him that, you know, he's a chicken coward ass piece of shit. And I don't let up, and I'm just like, I'm mad, and I'm yelling, and I'm just like, I'm pissed. But so finally I'm like, you're not getting those tapes. I was like, they're locked up in the manager's office. I'm like, I don't have a fucking key. So, you know, I'm like, there's just absolutely no getting those tapes. You're fucked. Well, so him and the tall, skinny guy that were casing the joint run out. They don't take their Newports. You know, he got like, you know, not even $100 out of the register. They hop in this van, they peel out. Well, like, here come 3 cop cars peeling into the parking lot. 2 of them go after the van. One of them, the guy comes in. He's like, do you have a key? Can you lock the store up? I was like, yeah. He's like, get in the car. So I'm like, oh shit. So I lock the store, hop in the fucking cop car, and now we're in hot pursuit. So you know, I'm in my cast. I'm still freaked out at the fact this dude just fucking threatened to shoot me. you know, and that I reacted the way I did. So finally, you know, I'm hearing all this chatter on their radios, and we're like hightailing through this neighborhood, and we catch up with the other two cops. They've got the van. Well, the guy with the gun wasn't in the van, but they had the other two people, the woman who was driving and this guy that was casing the store. They had them out, and their backs were to me, and they were standing with their hands behind their head. The cop's like, "Is that them?" And I'm like, "Well, you know it is." I'm like, "Yes, of course, that is them." So, you know, they got arrested. So the cops are still, you know, they're searching the whole area trying to find the little guy that had the gun that robbed me. But they didn't have any luck. You know, a couple weeks went by, and there was no luck. Nobody found him. So the cop takes me back to the store, and we're filing the official reports and doing all that. And you know, I called the assistant manager, and I'm like, "You need to get your fucking ass up here right now." I'm like, "I just got robbed, so you need to quit your stupid little fucking drinking party and get up here." And he just lived right down the street, so he was there in like 5 minutes. I mean, he walks in, and he's just got this look of horror on his face, because he looks at me and he can tell that I'm like in full on like I could attack you mode. And he's like, "So I'm scared to even ask this." He's like, "But do you still work here?" And I just like took my shirt off and threw it at his face, and I'm like, "Fuck you," and I left. And that was a very liberating moment for me. That felt good. But so this is where shit gets weird. So this story is going to encompass a little extra bit of time besides that one day. But all that happened, you know, in the course of one day. And my first sober birthday, where, you know, I'm still a little back. I'd only been sober for like, you know, 3 or 4 months at that point. The next day, I decide, you know, I'm gonna do something else nice for myself after that fucking day, and I can't play the guitar. So, you know, I'm gonna go buy a bunch of music that I can listen to at least, and maybe get inspired by. So I go to the record store to buy some new music, and I'm leaving, and I run into the singer and producer for the band that I am in now, and we've known each other for years. We've known each other since we were like fucking 15 years old. But it was crazy. I hadn't seen him in a few years, and I was just like, "Whoa, oh my God, blast from the past." And you know, so we stood there and talked for a little while, and kind of caught up. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm working on this new project now." He was like, "I think you'll really like it. Here's a demo." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to start something new myself. I just bought a guitar." I was like, "But I'm in this cast, so, you know, it's going to be another month or so before I can play it." But, you know, and he's like, "Oh, you're still playing guitar?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, I really need a guitarist for this project." And he was like, let me give you my address and my phone number and stuff. And he was like, "When you get that off, like, come out, jam, let's see what happens." And I'm like, "Cool." A couple of weeks after that, there was this new girl who had started coming to meetings, and I was sitting outside talking to her before a meeting one night, and she was, you know, visibly upset. So I'm asking her what's wrong, like trying to help in any way that I can. And like her biggest issue is she can't find rides to the meetings that she wants to go to, the ones that are the most beneficial for her. And, you know, time and just people, the rides were becoming increasingly more difficult for her to find. And she couldn't really like take the bus or, you know, whatever. And I'm like, so I give her my number, and I'm like, anytime you need a ride to a meeting, you know, call me and let me know. I'm like, I currently don't have a job. You know, all I'm really going to do is just be going to meetings and meeting people and, you know, trying to stay sober. So, you know, if you need me, I'm here for you. So a couple days later, she calls me and she's like, hey, I really want to go to this 8 o'clock meeting. Would you be interested in going? Would you pick me up? And I was like, of course. So I go to pick her up, and you know, she comes out to the car and she's got a big book, and I noticed it looks kind of old and worn, and there's a bunch of stuff highlighted in it, and she's kind of skimming through it, and I'm like, is this not your first time in the program? I'm like, have you been through this before? And she was like, oh no, this is actually my mom's big book. And I'm like, oh. Or no, she said this was my mom's big book, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, when did she pass? She's like, oh no, she's still alive. She's just in jail. And I'm like, oh, well that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm like, well, not to get too nosy or personal, but you know, what's she in jail for? How long she been in? How long she in for? And she was like, oh, she's only been in for a couple of weeks. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, what'd she do? And she was like, she was an accomplice in an armed robbery. She was the getaway driver. And I was like, so I sat there for a minute, and I named the location of the store where I had worked. I was like, was it that store? And she was like, yeah, how did you know that? And I was like, well, did she? And I described the other two guys. I was like, do you know if she, you know, worked with guys like that? And the girl named the two guys. And I recognized the name of the tall, skinny guy because the police told me. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm who they robbed. And she's just burst into tears. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, it's not your fault. I was like, at least, you know, you're here trying to do the right thing. I'm like, so, you know, don't apologize. God damn it! So, you know, I reinforced the fact that she doesn't have to apologize to me for that, you know, she didn't do anything. Well, so, it's like another week or two after that, and my cast is off. You know, I've been playing guitar for a day or two. I'm ready to go out and try to jam on this project and see where it goes with, you know, my friend from the past. So I'm on my way out there, and I stop at a convenience store to get some drinks, and I notice on the counter, I'm looking, you know how they have that little newspaper, the Slammer, and it shows, you know, who's been arrested locally and like what the charge is. Well, I'll be damned if there on the cover isn't that little motherfucker that robbed me. And the charge under his name was fucking murder. Murder. I had begged this dude to fucking shoot me. Called him a pussy, called him a coward. I must have struck a chord with his bitch ass. Because I guess the next person he robbed, he did murder. So that was kind of like a reality check. And it's funny because like after, you know, that next morning, you know, before I had, you know, gone to take a nap or whatever, before going to the music store, you know, I called my sponsor, I called one of my ex-girlfriends, you know, I called a few of my, you know, sober friends and told them what happened, and, you know, told them how I reacted and what was going on, and everybody's like, you are a fucking idiot. They're like, you can't do that. That is not sober living. That is crazy. And they're like, you cannot act like that in situations like that. I'm like, well, you know, and maybe it saved my life. Maybe I didn't get killed because I acted like that. And they were like, you know, maybe not, but don't do any stupid shit like that again. Just play it safe. You know, whatever. But, so yeah, that was my exciting story of the worst day of my life. And I hope you found it as entertaining it really wasn't. I mean, the actual scenario, the whole thing, it wasn't entertaining. It was dramatic. Would have been made for a great movie, I think, maybe. But I don't know. Thanks for watching. I don't have a thing to say. You know how people say something at the end of their videos. You know, like catchphrase or something. I don't have one of those. So